Hello cozy artists, my nickname is Raéclair. This is Tuna, and this is Apricot. Thanks for tuning in. So as you've seen from the title and the thumbnail, I will be making some zines today. Right now this is a template for a 16-page zine. I don't think I will attempt it, but it was fun to see how it would come together. And then this is a smaller 6-page zine. I don't show how I made these, but there are lots of tutorials on YouTube that you can check out. I might leave some video recommendations in the description. But yeah, I was just checking out which style I would like to try for my comic zines that I am making now. This is a little bit of an unboxing. We weren't planning on getting a new printer, but we had traded in our old printers. We recycled them at a local Staples, and they gave us a discount if we wanted to buy a new one, so we got one that same day. It was nice that some inks were included, and I had heard good reviews about the Epson printers, that they're very cost efficient because of the ink cartridges. So that's part of why we got this one. And now time for a snack. These are some Want rice crackers, and the flavor's pretty good. We like them. It's more of a savory snack, but not overly salty. Also showing off some cute slippers that we couldn't resist getting. And now back to the printer. It was so much fun filling the printer with the inks. We still had some extra ink left over from our old Epson printer, so I used that first, and then later on, because it wasn't enough, I used the new inks that were provided in the packaging. Then I just stored them away in the old box. So here is my design for my business card zine. I got this idea from another Zinester. Her name is Bratty Bree. I'll leave the link to her YouTube video. Needless to say, I was a little bit surprised. I at first didn't understand how this happened, but then I realized that it was because it wasn't set to a PDF file. It was instead printed off as a PNG, which was my mistake. But yeah, this was the actual size that I wanted for my first zine, not the business card zine, but this one, and this is the size that I got, which was pretty funny. I actually decided to scrap this zine idea and just combine what I wrote in this zine with my business card zine. But yeah, the size comparison is shocking. And then this is the size that I wanted for my business card zine. And then this is the size that I got, which it's cute and it's tiny, and I decided to include it in some of my packaged zines as a giveaway. But yeah, it's funny that things turned out that way. And yeah, it's the same size as the 16-page zine, and the business card zine is even smaller. Funnily enough, the QR code still worked, so I guess that's good. Now you can see me working on my comic zines, and these are based off of my webcomics that I feature on my website. So at this point, when I was first making zines, I was doing everything by hand. I was cutting everything with scissors, and as you can see, I was using this mini stapler that I had for years. And that little cork thing is what we use under our pots when they're hot. But yeah, that was just so that I could staple the pages together, and then I would press down the staples by hand. Everything at the beginning was just trial and error, but as you see later on in the video, I got much better tools and made the process faster and easier for me. I was pretty happy with how this first master copy of my comic zine turned out. It looked pretty cute, and later on I will make the zines better. This first one was a misprint, but what I was trying to do was comparing how the comics would look like if they were in a bigger size. So here's the comparison. Personally, my husband and I, we liked the smaller one because it looked cuter, but the bigger zine, you can see more of the details that I drew. And that little stapler broke. It's really old, so I took apart a paper clip and I used that to hold the comic. These were just for me anyway. They were master copies. I was just trying to see how I wanted the zines to look. I got a new stapler from Dollarama. And it's another snack time. These are peach oolong tea flavored Oreos. We got this flavor because it looked interesting. These Oreos had an interesting flavor. My husband and I liked them, but when he brought them to work, there were like mixed reviews. The smell is really nice. They do smell a bit like peach, but the flavor is a little bit floral, but they tasted good and they weren't too sweet. So back to the zine making process. These are my business card zines that I am working on right now. And at the beginning, I was doing everything by hand. That's why you see me using a ruler right now to measure out the extra paper that's around the page. And then later I will be cutting it out with scissors. Eventually I got a proper paper cutter, which made it easier for me because my hands were getting sore, and yeah. And all the footage that you see, by the way, it was done over the course of months. This was not all filmed in the same day, not even in the same week. This is all footage from months of working on my zines and finding businesses that would accept my zines, and also putting them up on my own website to sell as well. This was my first time making zines. I had gone through most of my life not even knowing about zines, but finding out about them has been fun. I like the idea of self-publishing my own work. And I've always liked comics, so getting to make my own comics and publish my own comics is it's really cool. I'm really grateful for the opportunity of trying to make comics for a living, and I hope that it becomes like successful. I hope that people enjoy the comics that I've made and that I've had fun making. I hope that people like the characters that I've made, just like I like the characters of the comics that I've read growing up, such as from Charlie Brown or Garfield or Tintin or any of those other comics that I've grown up with. I hope that people will enjoy reading them. So these comics are based off of my webcomic series. It's called The Very Ordinary Adventures of Tuna and Apricot, and those are characters I made based off of our pets. Right now my comic is free to view on my website, raeclairdelune.com. They're also up on Tapas and Webtoon. So hopefully the series gains more attention. I also have a couple of shops that have accepted my zines to sell, and all of that is in the description box. Do any of you have a particular art project that you're working on, such as a comic series that you've always wanted to work on, or any other art project? You can share in the comments below if you want to. But yeah, I think it's really exciting and fulfilling seeing the final product of all your hard work. At this point, I have printed 4 volumes of my webcomic series. There's one that I didn't print. It's the 3rd webcomic on my website. I thought it was too simple to print, so I just left it. If people request it, then I'll make zines of it. And zine making is one of those things that you can turn your brain off and just watch a show or something. It's a relaxing project to work on, but it's also really fun. Now I'm assembling things together, and as you can see, I'm using a small piece of cardboard. And again, just closing the staples by hand. I was also using this letter opener just because I didn't want the staples to stick out too much. Here you can see I finally upgraded to a proper paper trimmer. And this is a self-sharpening blade. At first I was too gentle and it didn't cut the paper properly, and I was worried that I had spent money on this paper cutter that didn't work well, but no, it was just me. Later on you'll see that I learned how to use the machine better. This is my coloring book zine, so that's why these pages are not colored in. As you can see here, I finally upgraded to a long arm stapler, and this helped a lot. I didn't have to spend extra time closing the staples by hand. It was just a one-shot process. And here are the final results. This is my business card zine. And these are the 4 volumes of my comic series. This is my big zine that combines all 4 of those comics into one large zine. And I also made a coloring page zine. This is the small version, and I also made a big version that you saw me working on earlier. So these are all the zines that I've made, and they are up on my website if you're interested. That's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone.